there, friends, and thanks for joining me. And today I want to talk about houseplants and how to keep them from dying. The reason I like houseplants so much is because they're not only just a nice way to kind of decorate your house by having some plants around, but they also offer some really good benefits too. As I'm sure many of you know, they provide oxygen, so they breathe in the carbon dioxide and then breathe out oxygen for us to then breathe in, and then we breathe out carbon dioxide. And so there's a really good relationship that we have here between them. And obviously oxygen in the air is healthy and good for us, but they also provide some other benefits too. They help to clean the air. They can actually take toxins from the air and help remove them so that we can breathe cleaner air as well. And so they just provide a healthier environment. So I really enjoy houseplants. I have a whole bunch of them all over my house. A little bit of a houseplant hoarder, but anyway. So I really enjoy having them, and a lot of people say, well, I really love your houseplants, I wish I didn't have such a black thumb, or I wish I had a green thumb like that. And honestly, I don't believe anyone has a lack of a green thumb. What that really means to me is that they just don't have a knowledge to know how to take care of them that makes them happy to where they can thrive, or at least survive. So I just want to talk about that really quickly, how to make sure your houseplants are healthy, happy, and survive at the very least, if not thrive, if that's even better, obviously. So anyway, a few points to talk about first. The number one thing I think when it comes to plants is making sure we're providing the right location for their light requirements. So all the different plants have different light requirements. Oftentimes they'll even have a tag inside of them that say what their light requirements are. And so when we find those light requirements, we want to put the plants in the right spots. Even more ideally than that would be if we were to take the plants that we see at the store, or the spots where we want to put them. If we're like, you want to plant right there in front of that windowsill, or over there kind of, away from the window. We go to the store in mind for those plants. So we say, okay, we need a highlight one for in front of the window, and we need a low light one for over there away from the window, those sorts of things. I think that's an even more ideal situation. But again, that doesn't always work out. Sometimes I end up with some cool plants from the clearance section or something at Lowe's or some other place, and so I have to find the right places for the plants that I've already got. So just make sure that you're putting them in the right spots. So if it says highlight, you're going to want to put them in a sunny south-facing window, even a window that faces east or west and get some good sunlight, for portions of the day. If it says it needs medium light, again, the east or west windows might be all right, or somewhere that's slightly away from the window but still close to where it's going to get some direct sunlight but for less amount of time. And then the low light plants need no direct sunlight at all or ever, and they don't want it. So if you put them in a sunny window or something like that, it'll be too much for them. So put them somewhere a little bit away from it, kind of on a wall away from the window or some other place, to where they aren't going to get cooked by the sun in that super intense sunlight. So again, this is what I think is probably number one when it comes to making sure we're providing the right locations for our plants. And then point number two is to water them properly. All the different plants, just like having different light conditions, need different watering requirements. So plants like succulents are going to need water anywhere from once a week to once a month, depending on how dry your environment is or what kind of plant it is. Other types of plants maybe need, a little more water, and then there are others that have high water requirements and don't ever want to dry out. So make sure we find the right, watering requirements and then give them what it is that they need. We don't want to overwater because that can cause root rot or other things, fungus gnats and other diseases, even the soil, the mold. But we don't want to underwater to where they're unhappy, they droop, and eventually can get dried out or die or whatever. So finding the right amount of water for the plant and then making sure that we water it, I believe, on a regular schedule. I try to make it part of my Sunday chores, because I don't have any plants that need watered more than once a day, at least in most of the months of the year. Here in the summer, maybe a little more than that, but find a regular schedule to where I water, the ones that need watered a lot on, again, like I said, that Sunday schedule, or, some of the others I'll water every other Sunday, and then I even have a cactus and a couple of succulents that I water even only once a month, like I said. So I'll just water them, like, say, the first Sunday of the month, and that's it. So anyway, making it a regular schedule so we don't forget can be pretty important, because if we're like, oh, well, I'll just water it when I remember, we may not remember, especially if we get busy with things. So give them the right amount of water, and I think that just these two things, if we can put them in the spot with the right amount of sunlight and give them the right amount of water, you will have plants that live. They will succeed and not die. However, I do think there are a couple of things that we can do even above and beyond that doesn't just keep them alive and makes them thrive. So here are the other ones that we can do if we even want to kick it up a notch. Fertilize. Plants are in a tiny little pot like this and they live their whole life that way. They don't have access to any kind of outside nutrients. And so fertilizer acts kind of as a plant vitamin. It's kind of like when we take our vitamins, or we have things, we eat food and drink water or whatever, obviously. So the plants just have the water. They need something to sort of feed on. So I believe fertilizer can be a very good thing for houseplants. The one key with this is that you don't overdo it. Always, always err on the side of caution and do less rather than more, because fertilizer can burn plants. So I buy just a inexpensive organic fertilizer, which does make it easier to make sure we're dosing it correctly. Organic fertilizer doesn't tend to burn plants, so if you can choose the organic, choose that one. But just give them fertilizer, not a whole lot, maybe every couple months. It's super, easy. You don't really have to do this a ton, but just do it occasionally, and that'll really help keep them vigorous, healthy, and happy. Another thing to do would be to prune dead leaves. My cat actually just tried to climb this one because it's one of these ones that kind of dangles, which is why it's down right now. It actually goes hanging on the wall over there. But anyway, while it was down, I was going to go ahead and prune it. If you look inside of here, you can see that there are some dead leaves and things. Not only does the plant spend energy trying to rejuvenate leaves that are kind of dead or dying, but it also can block the sunlight from getting onto the other plants, and so it can get less of the sun that it wants. So pruning the dead leaves not only makes the plant look better, it just makes them look healthier, but it also keeps the plant a lot healthier too. So there you go, that is it. Is the 2 keys to keeping them alive, and then 2 additional keys to helping them really thrive. And if you can do these things, not only will you end up with healthy, happy houseplants, but they'll look pretty and they'll provide all sorts of healthy benefits for you too. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. I'm Frugal Green Girl. Thanks.